don't really
Yeah,
control
I would say
them?
the majority of thoughts we don't control.
All right.
Right? If it was the default state of human beings to control their thoughts, any human on the planet could pick up a chemistry textbook and read it from cover to cover. We do not control our mind. Our mind controls us. Okay? So let's kind of go back to the task at hand, which is understanding the nature of mind, time, focus, happiness, all this crap. So first thing to understand is that the more distracted mind is, the more you're going to be aware of time. The less focused mind is, the less you will be aware of time. And sleep is a great example. So sleep is like a state of essentially no mind, except when we dream. Sure, we'll get to that maybe. That's kind of a tangent. But so the first thing to understand is that the activity of the mind correlates with the perception of time. And so when we enter something like a flow state, the perception of time disappears. The other thing that's happening in a flow state is we have focused mind. So if you sort of think about, let's talk about like not being able to enjoy dinner. Let's say I'm going to dinner with y'all, okay? And we're like having fun, but if my mind is not focused on the dinner and I keep on thinking about, oh my God, these guys are going to ask me to teach them how to do tantric sex. And that's only a problem because I only want to teach one of them. How am I going to fix this? Right? So the more distracted my mind is, the less I enjoy the present moment. With me?
Mm-hmm.
So now let's talk about orgasm. What happens when you come to your mind?
Go ahead, Graham.
Waiting for you, Jack.
The moment of orgasm is really powerful from a consciousness standpoint because your mind becomes completely one-pointed. That's why it feels so damn good. So if you look at human beings, what do you gravitate towards? You gravitate towards things that bring your mind to one-pointedness. I'm walking on down the beach and there's a sunset and I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just there, right? And I'm absorbed in the experience of the present. Or I'm whitewater rafting. And when I'm whitewater rafting, I'm just there. I literally cannot afford to think about anything else. And the interesting thing about orgasm is one of the very few physiologic techniques that automatically...
We are sorry to interrupt you, but before we move on to the next point, we noticed that a lot of you are returning viewers who have not subscribed. If you've enjoyed our content, subscribing would mean the world to us. It's a small click for you, but it makes a huge difference for us. Thank you for your support.
Induce complete focus of the mind, right? And even if we look at people like if you look at people who have like sexual difficulties, right? So anorgasmia or difficulties with desire and stuff like that, someone who has anxiety and has difficulty maintaining an erection, it all makes sense, right? Because now we understand that if sex is about present and focus and orgasm is one-pointedness, but I am anxious, I'm thinking, is my partner enjoying it? Are they not enjoying it? Blah, blah, blah. Then I don't enjoy it. It's difficult for me to attain that one-pointed state. So sex and orgasm specifically is essentially a meditation technique. And all meditation techniques are designed to bring our mind originally to one-pointedness and then transcend mind entirely. The activity of mind completely stops and we still retain awareness, which is something that very few people, actually most people have probably experienced it, but it's like in glimpses here or there. And like maybe like whitewater rafting is a good example where there are times where in a flow state, your mind is still active usually. But there are times where y'all will hopefully have had in your life where like literally your mind had no thoughts, but you were still awake and fully present. Has that ever happened to y'all?
Mm-hmm.
Outside of orgasm?
Yes.
Yeah.
Examples?
Pickleball.
Right?
Like ping pong too. Like you just get into that groove where you're just doing those forehand, and the ball is just like bouncing. You're kind of listening to it.
You're talking about ping pong or masturbation?
Ping pong. Yeah, I haven't experienced masturbation, of course. But yeah, in ping pong, yeah, you just get into that flow state where you're just like, just keep the ball on the table.
Right. So then like if you think about it, you're not even having thoughts.
No.
And even I would even say, so this is the cool thing about meditation is as you transcend mind, you also transcend ego, which is like, oh my God, let's transcend the ego. It's not anything so mystical. So you become one with the pickleball. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like you lose yourself. You stop being this
muscle
guy.
memory, like your body's kind of controlling you.
Your body is controlling, and even your mind is on autopilot, and you're just present. And if I were to ask you, like, you know, like you'd forget about your haircut, you'd forget about everything. You're just one with the pickleball. And so this is the goal of meditation, is to attain these states of mind. And the reason that they do tantric sex is because during that sustained state of orgasm, it's not about pleasure. So this is why I say that y'all are not ready for it, okay? because it's powerful stuff. Y'all are playing with fire here. So what we really want to achieve is it's a tool that's used to sustain that state of mind for an extended period of time by powerfully harnessing your physiology.
That makes a lot of sense. And I think it explains why I like pickleball so much and why Graham likes work so much, because he always says, like, when he's working, I ask him, like, why does he like it? He's like, why just get into this flow state? I know I'm not supposed to use that term, but where that's all he's thinking about. And anytime I break him from that, or like, we'll be in there talking about a title or a thumbnail, and I'll hear like, and Macy walks in, Graham's like, no, he doesn't say that to his fiance, but you could tell, like, he just wants to be in that state of like, that is all he's focusing on.
Yeah. So if you kind of look at it, so this is the thing about meditation is we as human beings, some of us figure out how to attain one-pointedness of the mind. That a lot of human beings will figure out, right? And the key thing to understand about meditation is that it's a state, I mean, not meditation, but what we're going for is a state of consciousness. And there are many ways to attain that state of consciousness. So tantric sex is one, meditation is another, flow state, pickleball, runner's high,
video games,
working out, sometimes video games. So when I work with esports professionals, I try to teach them how to enter the flow state and become one with the game. And they know what I'm talking about. And that's when you see these players who enter the state where they are literally like seeing the future. And it's like they know exactly what's going to happen on the map. They know exactly where these people are going to be. And if you're on the opposite team, when someone is like the god of the video game, it feels like you're playing against someone who's superhuman, because they are. They've transcended like basic human functioning.
What do you guys think? Do you agree that focus can bring more happiness to life? Please leave your comment below. We would love to hear from you.
Thank you for making it this far. If you like this video, you might want to share it with a like-minded friend. Thank you, and as always, stay blessed.